Welcome to HCS Talks. I'm your host, Superintendent of Hampton City Schools, Raymond Haynes. This is our Hampton City Schools podcast. If you are listening for the first time, thank you for joining us. If it is important to students, parents, teachers, or the community, we hope to cover it on HCS Talks. The goal is to inform, educate, and even entertain you. We are proud to be home to Langley Air Force Base and to serve military families from all branches across our nation. We recognize there are challenges that are unique to our military-connected families, particularly when looking at how often a military family may transition to different locations. In Hampton, we also recognize that our community is enriched by the experiences of our military students and their families. Today, I am sitting with Colonel Matthew Altman, who is the commander of the 633rd Air Base Wing, Joint Base Langley-Eustis, right here in Hampton, Virginia. Thank you for being here today, Colonel Altman.
Thank you for having me.
I am looking forward to our conversation today, so why don't we begin by telling the listening audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Dr. Haynes. I really appreciate you having me here today. I've been really looking forward to this. I'm Colonel Matt Altman, the commander of the 633rd Air Base Wing and the Installation Command for Joint Base Langley-Eustis, which encompasses Langley Air Force Base and Fort Eustis. I took command this summer, so I just passed about the 6-month point. Along with my command chief, Chief Master Sergeant Dave Colson, we're really excited about being here with this historic installation and so many different wings and brigades that we support, and really proud to be part of this Hampton community. I'm originally from Northern Virginia, so grew up about 3 hours north of here, where my folks still live in the house that I grew up. So it's nice to be back in Virginia and back close to home. I do have 4 children. Jessica, my wife, and I have 4 kiddos. They range in age from 6 to 13, and 3 of them are actually in Hampton schools right now. I've got 2 girls in Armstrong Elementary School, and then my 5th grader, Gus, is in Kilgore Elementary School.
Wow. That is fantastic. So I know you said you're from Northern Virginia, but prior to coming here, where were you stationed or located?
We were stationed way out in Del Rio, Texas at Laughlin Air Force Base, which is the home of pilot training. So it's undergraduate, one of the Air Force's undergraduate pilot training wings out almost on the Mexico border on a wonderful community of Del Rio.
So are you a pilot as well?
I am not. I'm a civil engineer.
Civil engineer.
I've got about all of an hour and a half in the backseat of aircraft. I'm amazed by flight, and I'm really impressed with what our pilots do for the Air Force and for our nation. But I'm a ground pound and civil engineer.
Wow. So you have 4 children. How many boys to girls?
1 boy and 3 girls.
Who's the oldest?
The 8th grade girl, Hazel,
Okay.
and she's at Hampton Christian Academy this year. And then Gus is at Kilgore, and then Winnie and Hadley are at Armstrong, kindergarten and 3rd grade.
Wow. How was the transition for them?
You know, it's been really wonderful. I've been really impressed. We love Laughlin, great community, little remote in West Texas, but just phenomenal community. But we came out here and just instantly welcomed. In particular, the folks we've engaged with in the Hampton School District have been phenomenal, just helping us navigate where to go. It's tough to transition each couple of years. In command billets, we move every 2 years.
Yes, sir.
But there's just a plethora of folks that were very welcoming and very accommodating and just trying to help us in the right direction so we could get off to a great start.
That is very pleasing to hear, and I thank you for choosing Hampton City Schools because I know their choices, and oftentimes when folks move to a particular area, the number one thing they're looking for is where will my children go to school? And we're very fortunate that you chose Hampton as well.
Yeah, Dr. Haynes, I tell you, there's a lot of things that people care about when they move from base to base in the military. And I can say unequivocally that kids and schools, the most important thing. As soon as you get your children squared away with where they're going to school, you can focus on everything else. But until you get to that point, it is a stressful thing during moves. So we're proud to be here in Hampton School District and really pleased with the experience thus far.
We thank you for sharing that. And one of the things we try to do is alleviate that anxiety. We want that to be one less thing you have to worry about, but we also know it's the most critical thing in terms of when you're relocating and where your children be educated. So, again, I can't thank you enough for choosing Hampton. So, Colonel Altman, what should military families look for when they are moving into the area? I know we mentioned school. What else?
I think just the basic needs is what we really want to get squared away right off the bat. Everyone's moving in the area. There's a lot of stress and turmoil associated with our permanent changes station. But again, they look for where my kid's going to go to school, where am I going to live, a nice, safe neighborhood with the right amenities that you need for quality of life. Typically, proximity to base is important as well, so you have that short commute. But all the things that everyone else looks for and where they want to live and where they want to spend their time. We love work, but, you spend hopefully most of your time at home with your family.
Yes,
And doing things that you love doing. So just like anybody else, you want to be in a great house in a great neighborhood with schools that are really going to develop and challenge your kids.
Absolutely. Can you share with our listening audience ways the community can support military-connected families as they are transitioning?
Absolutely. And I think, sir, your school district does a phenomenal job with it. I think it starts with recognizing who those military kids are and acknowledging the fact that they need different support than other kids. Take my four, for example. I think they're really well-adjusted kids, and they do a good job with our constant moves. But they've been in now 4 schools in 3 years. So if you can imagine, stepping in first day of school, always meeting new kids, and not having that. Like when I grew up in Clifton, Virginia,
Right.
I had about the same group of friends, and whether it was sports or scouts or school, you saw the same faces every single year up through when I went to college. My kids now they benefit from a lot, being able to move around and experience different parts of the world and the country and all that comes with that. But it is a challenge every year where they got to make new friends and build new groups and get used to new school systems and everything else.
That's true.
So I think it comes from an acknowledgement or recognizing who they are, and then acknowledging that those groups might need a little bit more proactive support to bring them in, welcome in, maybe connected with some of the more mature kids they're going to be able to grab their hands and walk them around and introduce them to other people.
I think also having them have a sense of belonging. Absolutely. Because they are moving so often. Are your parents military too?
My father did serve in the Marine Corps, not for a career, but he served in the Marine Corps during the Vietnam era. And I'm proud that both of my brothers served in the Marine Corps as well. Brother-in-law served in the Coast Guard as a rescue swimmer.
Wow.
So we've got a great military history in our family. I'm the only airman, but they all say I made the right choice.
My father was retired Air Force. That's how we got here. But in actuality, my mother said she was not going to do a lot of traveling. So a lot of times when he would have be stationed in different places, we would remain here because she wanted that stability. So we did stay here from kindergarten on through 12th grade but still benefited from having a military father. Our father was in the military as well. So had one brother that went into the Army, but the other 5 of us chose not to do the military. But very beneficial, and our father was a great role model for us as well.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for his service and your brothers as well.
Yes,
that's
sir.
fantastic.
Certainly. Thank you for your service.
And the good thing, too, I know you mentioned kind of that sometimes you stay someplace when they PCS. Thankfully, this is an area everyone wants to come, right? You've got great schools, great housing, great medical care.
Yes.
And so unlike some other bases we've been in more remote locations, we're pleased that a lot of folks want to come here. Now, there's a demand on housing and capacity issues there, but it's such a wonderful area and a community that people want to live.
Great community, and I think it is a great place to raise a family as well.
Absolutely.
So currently, in Hampton City Schools, we have 11 Purple Star schools. Why do you feel it is important for a school or a division to be a Purple Star school?
Well, first off, I was astounded to hear that you have 11 Purple Star schools. That is absolutely phenomenal. My kids came from a Purple Star school in Texas, and it's really nice to know that you go to such lengths to ensure that your schools recognize again and have programs to accommodate military kids and make them feel welcome, make them feel a sense of belonging. It really goes back to that support for military families, and it just demonstrates that you want a deliberate effort to bring in those families, make them feel part of it, and help those kids get off to a great start in schools. Again, go back to that's what parents care about most. And if your kids are happy and kids are in school and doing well, all the rest of the stuff just works itself out. So it's a really great sign for the school district to have that many Purple Star school designations.
Yeah, so coming here and you see that, it's an automatic feeling of though we're here to support the military-connected families and hopefully make that transition a smooth one for you as well.
Absolutely, and I'm familiar with what it takes to become a Purple Star school. And I mean, again, the fact that the majority of your district is there is just really commendable, and we appreciate it.
Can't say enough about the work that Dr. Oliver does in ensuring that we have as many schools with that Purple Star attached to it as possible, and hopefully we'll get to the point where our whole division will be considered Purple Star.
That'd be amazing.
So we know April is the month of the military child, and April 15th is Purple Up Day, where we encourage our community to wear purple in support of our military kids. So talk to me about why you feel it is important for the area schools and communities to embrace and celebrate this.
I love that. Maybe we have to go Purple Day on base, too. I'm not sure how that'll work with OCPs, but we'll give that a shot. It really just goes, this is a phenomenal region for military. I mean, there's a reason why. Obviously, we have some large installations and lots of active duty military personnel, but there's a reason why people want to stay here. It's so welcoming. It's so accommodating for military personnel and their families. And we appreciate the fact that the school district makes a point of recognizing the military child in the month of April. It's just that sense of belonging, that welcoming, and the kids feel special about it. I mean, it opens up a window so maybe they can talk a little bit about their family, talk a little bit about their experience, and recognize that they're not just the new kid that has to adjust, but hey, maybe they have some special experiences that would be helpful that people want to know about me. And having a designated month like that just gives them that opening to share their story and recognize that it's different than a lot of the kids that have grown up here, but they're special too. And it's a great opportunity to kind of share experiences and learn from each other.
It is great, and it helps to make a more diverse community as well.
Absolutely.
And talking about from whence they came and how it may be different from where they are now. So it helps for folks to understand that there is a world outside of the city of Hampton, and people have experienced that as well. Colonel Altman, can you talk about creating a workforce pipeline for young people and how our academies of Hampton transitions to career opportunities in the military?
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing I've been super impressed about is the Hampton Schools, the Academies of Hampton. Commend up to yourself, to Mayor Tuck, and the whole team for making that a priority. Just really amazed with that initiative and how it sounds like it's grown rapidly over the last few years with great plans for developing the future. Those are the kind of special things that we look for when we come to the basis of, what school districts are trying to get out there, trying to innovate, trying to try new programs so they'll challenge our kids and continue to make sure that they're taken care of through their K through 12 spectrum. I will say, as far as the workforce pipeline, that's something we're really excited about this year and moving forward. And it's trying to get folks away from thinking about the military base just in terms of folks that wear the uniform. We have thousands of jobs on both Langley and Fort Eustis.
Right.
In civil service.
Mm-hmm.
There is about a pipeline to every possible type of employment or career opportunity you'd ever want. And we're dying to hire people. Much like the rest of the nation, we're struggling to hire right now. But we need to build better pipelines locally.
Right.
So kids, when they're growing up, it's great. We need pilots. We need military members. We need people to join the military as military members.
We need civil engineers too.
Hey man, lead the way. Gotta have civil engineers as a nation. We need a lot more civil engineers. But the building those pipelines so our local communities can see their pathways to employment on the base. There's so much potential there, not just with Joint Base Langley-Eustis, with our NASA partners across the flight line as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Just such tremendous opportunity. I think we do a good job with it. But I think we can do a lot better job partnering with your academies and partnering with some other pipelines to get folks summer employment. And then that builds into post-college employment and then hopefully careers on base or in civil service.
I think the opportunities are endless when you look at the amount of industries and careers that the military covers. And then we have the 16 academies and 44 pathways. And oftentimes young people, they don't really understand what is out there. So if you put them in front of a civil engineer or a pilot and say, hey, this is something that you actually can become or something that is attainable. When they're seeing that person right in their face, it makes it more real and practical and gives them a sense of hope. So we often say we are preparing young people for the world they are about to enter into, and not the world we came from. When we came out of school, things were vastly different from what they are now. They were different than they were 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So we have to look at how we can prepare young people for college, career, and life, and recognize that there are multiple entry and exit ways for that. And the military is a great way to make a career, and just making them aware of what all the military has to offer, I think, will speak volumes to us continuing to grow the academies and pathways that we currently offer.
Sir, I think that's absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that you have 44 different pathways, I bet many of them could lead to the base, through the base, maybe back to the base.
Absolutely.
And it really ties to, your educators are our best recruiters.
Yes, sir.
We've got to grow the future force, and it comes through those key influencers. and they got to know that there's opportunities on base, and we need to open our gates and bring you in and let you leverage everything we have and see what can help with their education. And then maybe they go off to college, but at some point they want to come home. And if they can see the installations in our wings as opportunity for them for the future, whatever that is.
Opportunities on the base and opportunities to see the world as well. So, and then still opportunities to get advanced degrees. So there are just a number of things that they can do if they experience the life or career in the military. And we want to make certain that we enhance their awareness of that as well.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. What other experiential opportunities are available on Joint Base Langley-Eustis for students and or teachers? And who would they contact to coordinate these opportunities?
That's a great question. I appreciate you asking, because we had a great time hosting Hampton High School educators last week. It's wonderful to have them on base, and we welcome anyone that wants to come check it out, whether it's educators, groups of students, and whatnot. We're planning a STEM event later on this spring, early summer. It'd be a great opportunity to open the gates and bring them in, any students or educators that want to come experience that. Similar to what we did last year with the air show. We'll do another air show next year, but absent an air show in 2024, we're excited about it, bringing on a STEM event. But it doesn't just have to be these large events that we orchestrate. We can host tours, we can host engagements broadly with different entities around base, whether it's our fire department, our security forces personnel. They do great demonstrations. Link them up with the First Fighter Wing to talk about the aerodynamics of flight, or the physics-defying phenomenon that is the F-22 Raptor. There's such opportunity all across base. I think it comes to reaching out to our public affairs team, both either our public affairs team, our community engagement office, and our school liaison officer. I think that's a great partnership to see what we can help with. I like to say our gates are open to your educators. And we'd like to partner however we can. I just learned a couple of weeks ago, we got a great wetland out there with a nature walk that goes out right on the water. It's a little cold right now, not a lot of wildlife out, but come spring and summer, we'd absolutely welcome students coming on out and exploring our nature walk as well. Nice.
Something our science department would be excited about, and getting young people out there. So tell me a little bit more about the STEM event, Colonel Altman. What type of activities go on during the STEM event?
Hopefully lots of hands-on activities. So we're going to partner with some local organizations, perhaps some professional societies as well, and then all our organizations on base that touch science, math, and engineering. Lots of hands-on. We got to get students excited about STEM, excited about futures in engineering, math, and it comes from playing with our stuff. So whether it's our explosive ordnance disposal flight with robots and handhelds and things like that, talking about unmanned aerial systems, talking about any number of exciting things in our engineering world, but we'll have lots of exhibits, lots of hands-on, an opportunity to get up close with science. And again, it's trying to build that energy.
So you have different departments that fit into the STEM realm. They are there during the event where young people can actually sit down and have conversations with them about the careers and industries and how to get into this particular type of work, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have representatives from about every career field you can think of in the engineering realm. Again, it kind of goes back to our installations. We have such broad opportunity between Langley Air Force Base with the 5 different wings we have there and Air Combat Command headquarters, and also with Fort Eustis, where we have about 8 brigades and our Army Training and Doctrine Command and a host of other amazing entities very important to our national security. We have tremendous opportunity. We have the Army's Navy is ported out of the 3rd Port at Fort Eustis, and so think of all the science opportunities talking about the Army's Navy and that realm as well. So just great potential. We're excited to open the gates. We'll get the specifics to the school district for sure.
Looking forward to it.
To partner with that, and outside of that, again, I'd like to say that anybody's welcome. We got the gates open to you. We'd love to partner. We got to build that pipeline to the future, and I think it starts with students in Hampton schools and your educators.
Yes, sir. Talk a little bit about the air show. I know we have participated in that a couple of times. Can you tell us about what that entails?
Absolutely. So, and we just published it a couple weeks ago. I think it's April of 2025. I'm getting head nods over here. So it's April 2025 is the next air show, the open house here at Joint Base Langley-Eustis. We published it a couple weeks ago, and I think people were thinking April of 24, so everyone was really excited. Still exciting, but it's a year out. It takes a while to get these shows planned. But we expect to have the Thunderbirds again, and thankfully we're at the home of Air Combat Command, so we have the pick of all the other demonstration teams. Have to say, most interestingly and most excited, the F-22 Raptor demo team from the First Fighter Wing. It's absolute, just phenomenal aircraft, and the things that those pilots can do with it. again, it's physics defying. It's the one aircraft out there that even fighter pilots, regardless of what aircraft they fly, they look up in amazement at what the F-22 can do. And that's just one of many demonstration teams that they'll have at the air show, in conjunction with, I assume we'll do another massive STEM event as well.
So the two would go, you would have the STEM event, and then that same day, the air show.
Same week. If I remember correctly, it was about a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
We'll be sure to get those details out as they become. We got our team working on it.
But that won't happen until April 25 for the air show.
April of 2025, yeah.
The STEM events, are those yearly, or is it connected to the air show?
So historically, we've done them in conjunction with the air shows. But this year, it was so popular this last year at the air show that we decided to orchestrate one outside of an air show too.
Nice.
So we'll do one again. We'll get the details out. We're looking at either May or June. I don't think we've picked the date yet, but we'll be sure to get you those details. And that will be just purely a STEM event, but it's going to be big. We're excited about it.
Look
forward to the partnership. Similar to how NASA did a great open house last fall.
Yes, sir.
I believe they were expecting 20,000 people and they had 40,000.
Yes, sir.
So just thinking about the excitement for STEM in this region is phenomenal.
And the many facets or industries that come with STEM, oftentimes people shy away from it because they think it's just high thinking, physics and chemistry, but there are some other opportunities within the realm of STEM that I think would suffice for just about anyone who may be interested in that from that perspective altogether. So
absolutely,
we want to give young people as much exposure as we can to the STEM field because it also instills a sense of hope and confidence in that field of work as well.
Absolutely.
So are you able to share the future of the Air Force Base and any potential impacts to our community? Might be top secret, I don't know. just checking.
The top secret podcast next. Without getting into too many details, the future of the base is strong. Joint Base Langley-Eustis, again, it's one of 12 joint bases in the Department of Defense, and arguably or not, the most successful. It's a phenomenal installation with some tremendously important mission sets. We're in the growth industry right now. So if you look at Langley, we're able to just bed down the first fighter wing, the F-22 formal training unit inside the first fighter wing. So what that is now the F-22 pipeline, they go to undergraduate pilot training, and then they come straight here to Langley, and our partners at the first fighter wing do the initial Raptor training to get them into Raptors as Raptor pilots. So that's a growth in mission there for the community. About 500 people were supposed to come with that mission growth as well. I can tell you we have two phenomenal ISR wings, so intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance wings, that do phenomenal things with tremendous impacts, global impact to the military and our missions. And they're in the growth industry as well. So on one part of our base, we have some significant military construction projects going. We're expanding on the north side of the ramp to accommodate the growth of our ISR wings as well. And that's just Langley. So, there's big things coming for both installations. And we're here to stay. And it's exciting for the community because, again, this is a target location. People want to come here. Sir. This is the crown jewel of Air Combat Command. And this is a base that people fight to get to. And that's not going to change anytime soon.
Definitely exciting things to come, and I can't say enough about thanking you for your service and all that you're doing in your role and all that you'll do to impact our community as a whole. Nothing short of phenomenal as well. So certainly, as we wrap up, Colonel Altman, is there anything else you would like to share with our listening audience?
Well, Dr. Haynes, thank you again for having me today. This is a real pleasure. And just really want to thank you for your support and thank your school district for just being a phenomenal host. People always say it's not just within the confines of our fence. We're part of the community too.
Yes, sir.
And the thousands of people that represent Joint Base Langley-Eustis, we live in the community, we're part of it. And to be able to come here and just feel so welcomed and so accommodated and really celebrated. Our kids feel special going to your schools, and it's because of your leadership, it's because of your team and your educators and how they go that extra mile to accommodate us. So thank you again. We appreciate your partnership and look forward to opening the gates to you in any way that we can to continue this partnership.
I'm almost speechless. I thank you for everything you just shared, and I thank you for your support of Hampton City Schools. It speaks to our mantra of one community, one transformation, and we focus on that whole concept of excellence with intentionality. And when young people or families come here, we want them to feel as though they're supported and that parents feel they made the right choice in choosing Hampton City Schools. So thank you, Colonel Altman, for taking the time from your day to visit and sit down with me. I appreciate your being here and giving more insight in the partnership with Joint Base Langley-Eustis. And to our listeners, remember, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. As one community, one transformation, we will continue to ensure academic excellence for every child, every day, whatever it takes. See you next week.
Listen to learn more about Hampton City Schools. New episodes of HCS Talks drop on Thursday. Subscribe and listen to HCS Talks. HCS Talks is a Hampton City Schools production.